Hello and happy Monday. I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. I am enjoying a cup of coffee outside as I am doing this video for you. I always try to enjoy different spaces as much as I possibly can, other than always having a video in my office. But I did want to follow up on last week's rate announcement from the Bank of Canada, where the Bank of Canada dropped the overnight lending rate by 0.5%, and so the banks followed suit and dropped the prime rate by 0.5%. So a lot of people hear the overnight lending rate and they see how low it is, and that's what they think that prime is, and that's actually not the case. It's 2% higher. So there's a lot of confusion. I've been getting a lot of phone calls, and I've been spending a lot of time explaining just the difference between a fixed and a variable. So I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to do it on this video here. So the variable rate follows the Bank of Canada, and the Bank of Canada decides what the overnight lending rate is. And then the banks will follow suit. And from the overnight lending rate, they usually add like a 2%, and that's called the prime rate. So Canadians right now are getting a little bit of relief on their current existing variable mortgages. However, for people who are looking to purchase, the variable rate mortgages are still higher than the fixed rate mortgages. So it's actually more expensive and not beneficial to qualify using the variable rate, to be quite honest with you. And fixed rates are not dropping by 0.5% the same way that the variable has been, or dropping by 1/4 point. And that's because fixed rates follow the bond market. And the bond market, you can kind of think of it like the stock market. It kind of goes up and down, and it's kind of like a daily thing. And this is a lot more complex, and it's all based on the markets looking at the data that comes in. So job reports, CPI, GDP, I mean, there's just a whole bunch of things. And so this coming week, both in Canada and in the US, it's going to be like really crazy. So what I'm telling people is buckle up, because it's going to be a volatile week. So in the US, there is like pretty much one announcement every day, and then there's our federal elections, and I don't know how that's going to go. I'm a little concerned about it, to be quite honest with you, and what's going to be happening. However, whatever is going to happen, it'll be very interesting to see how the markets respond. So what I'm saying is buckle up. And in Canada, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, Tiff Macklin is going to be speaking in Toronto and in Ottawa and doing some events. And obviously with those, I'll be following those closely and following up with you next week on what Tiff Macklin is saying this week in regards to the markets and stuff like that. So there's a lot of information that needs to come out, and it's right before a US election. And how the US responds to the markets is how Canada follows suit. So the Federal Reserve has to do an announcement coming up as well. And if they don't drop rates, then there's going to start to be a gap between Canada and the US. This starts to affect other things in the market other than just real estate, like the Canadian dollar. And if our Canadian dollar is too expensive, that starts to hurt imports, exports, all kinds of stuff. So it's a very delicate matter as to what's happening. And so what happens in the US really does have an impact on Canada. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the course of this week and next week, when we have the federal election. So the next 2 weeks are going to be super volatile. But I just wanted to let you know that there's been no change in fixed rates whatsoever. 0.5% in the prime rate drop. And, you know, I think that at this point in time, everybody just needs to have a customized conversation. It's basically what is best for you. Some people think that, oh, maybe I should just do a variable, or maybe I should just wait. If you wait, well, this is my opinion, but I think that based on my 27 years of experience in the real estate market, I am really proud to say that not only have I done mortgages, I mean, mortgages is my full-time job, and it has been for the last 27 years. However, I have been blessed to know some really amazing real estate agents, and I've had the opportunity to buy property, rent it out, buy property, renovate it and sell it, buy property, tear down a house and rebuild a 2-story home. And so I have a lot of experience in prices from 2001 to 2019. So in an 18-year period of buying several homes, I think I'm at 9 now. But you start to notice that, you know, people are always waiting on the sidelines, and hoping that maybe rates will drop and then house prices will drop, because we're noticing that house prices, well, I guess it depends on what market as well, but prices have decreased a little bit, but we're not going to have a continuation of price decrease and rate decreases and thinking that that trajectory is going to happen. So you really have to decide when is the best time to buy. And it's never going to be perfect, and you're never going to be able to time the market. And I would strongly recommend that you don't try to do that. What I recommend is that you have a customized conversation. And really, what do you think that is going to happen? Do you think that rates are going to continue to go down? If they do, what does that mean for home prices? And if we think that rates are going to stay stable, then what happens to rate prices? Because we saw that when rates were going up, prices were going down. So if rates are going down, I anticipate that prices are going to be going up, which is what happens all the time. In my 19 years of buying and selling, that's exactly what would happen. So if you're looking for a good deal and rates are reasonable and affordable, then now's a good time to buy. Because I think that if rates decrease a little bit more, all the people that have been hibernating are going to be coming out again, and we're going to start seeing an increase in prices. We're going to see a little bit of competition, and that puts other stresses on the market. So I think that now's this really interesting time to be able to pay attention to the market. We have this very interesting window that's happening between now and spring, or between now and next summer for sure. It'll be very interesting to see what starts to happen. And I can look back on these videos and kind of go, oh, I think I was right, or maybe I was wrong. But based on my personal experience, I think now is like a really great time to buy. And rates, just so you know, and everybody has been saying this, you know, rates are not going to go as low as they once were. So anybody having that expectation is just unrealistic. I think that there's room for a little bit of a drop, but it's not that much that you should say, oh, I'm going to wait and hold off, because that savings in the rate might cost you in the price. And so it ends up costing you the same thing, if not more, as far as interest payments are concerned. So math is a pure science, and everybody can try to sell you whatever it is that they want, but math will tell you exactly what it is that you need to do. And your situation will tell you exactly what it is that you need to do. And everybody has a different situation. So if you have any questions, or you have any concerns, or and you want to take this conversation further, because I could, you know, this conversation could happen for hours. Give me a call, let me know, and we can sit down and have a customized conversation and make sure we figure out what the path is going to be for you. But stay tuned over the next couple of weeks, because it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Another thing, before I leave, I just wanted to ask you to, if you're watching this video, if you could just hit the like button, please. It's always nice to see who's paying attention, or if you have any comments about anything, please feel free to write them down. I'm always listening. If there's something that you want to see me talk about, I'm more than happy to. I tried to keep these videos as simple as possible so that people understand. And I don't like to give blanket advice because that just doesn't work. And I don't think it's the professional thing to do. So if you could hit me a like, then I would really appreciate that. But until then, have yourself a great week, and I'll see you next Monday. Take care.